So by the time that I upload this video, there's most definitely going to be a ton of footage being released by individuals that were able to play Destiny 2 Edge of Fate early, and probably a ton of info as well on maybe like overhauls to like the game with this new expansion or whatever. Like there's probably gonna be, like I said, a lot of footage showing off the expansion, at least like the beginning of the, story mission is what I've heard, but I'm pretty sure we'll also be getting a ton of info as well. So by the time of me, uploading this, I'm pretty sure a lot of things that I'm going to talk about in this video will probably get answered, or at least I hope so, because in this video, I just want to talk about my hopes and my worries when it comes to Destiny 2's future with this new saga, this part 1 of this new future for Destiny when it comes to expansions, the format of how they do content and so on, and just in general, like just again my worries but also my hopes when it comes to a lot of the stuff that will be happening with this new start of a brand new saga for Destiny 2, which is crazy to think about because we've been dealing with the Light and Dark saga for this long. Transferring into a whole different plot, big plot line with the 9 and such is going to be kind of exciting, I won't lie. Because we're now going into territory of a lot of mystery again, which is good. That's very, very good. But, again, this video is not just talking about things that are good about this, like where there's some hope. I want to talk about my worries as well. And I hope that a lot of these things get answered, whether it be when all the footage drops, or hopefully maybe down the road, like as we get closer to this new expansion, the first part of our expansion. And for starters, I'll go with like some worries, and then I'll kind of like go into like things that I hope to see as well. We'll first talk about something that I really am hopeful about. I'm really hopeful that this line of content will be a lot more consistent on where there's an actual reason to keep playing and doing the cycle for each like week or whatever, compared to previous with these episodes and so on. I mean, I've even when it comes to like the events, it's really nice that it seems like they're really trying to add more events, like how they did Heavy Metal, and now we have the Rites of the 9 or whatever, and then we have obviously they we're going to be getting Solstice, but I don't know if they meant that a lot of things are getting overhauled, but I think that they stated during the interview when they were showing off especially that really cool design for the weapon where it had like the ocean effect, which was really cool, but that was only part of what they said. They said that they also have like overhauls to events in general, so Dawning and so on, which I'm really hoping that means that they're taking those events and shaping them into something that isn't what they've been for years and actually is more engaging than what it was. So what I'm hopeful about is, as I mentioned, is just the gameplay cycle of Destiny is going to get an overhaul, where it's not just like it feels like we're getting on to do a story mission of chores for whatever season or whatever it could be, and then everything else is pretty much the same when it comes to what we expect for a new reset for the week in Destiny. I feel like there's going to be at least a little bit more engagement. That's what I'm hopeful of. I'm not saying that it will be like that, but again, episodes were horrible. And having the split of 2 expansions, which they said would be like a little bit larger than like Rise of Iron, sounds fine to me. Because Rise of Iron was actually pretty good. The only issue that Rise of Iron had was there was nothing to do after. Like they didn't do seasons back then. We had to wait until the major update later on, which actually I think we did get one during Rise of Iron, I believe. It was like in the spring, but yeah, for the most part, it was just that was the only issue. It was just not enough content. But obviously, with we have these major updates and seasons and so on or whatever. So hopeful. What I'm worried about though is loot, specifically on this whole tier listing and vault space not being solved apparently until part 2 of the expansion, so all the way until winter, with these like new armor sets and so on. I mean, I am worried about vault space, and I'm also worried about how we acquire these higher tier loots, because it makes sense that a tier 5 weapon would drop at, you know, whatever the most difficult activity it could be. But the reason why I'm worried is if the only way to get like tier 5 weapons is to always do the most just painful, like over the top difficult content where it's not even really fun, it's just, okay, this is just getting annoying. I mean, think about it. Like, just think about anything that could be frustrating to deal with, like screebs that like just explode and take you out from like large distances, like one shot. Like, you know, like anything that would really just ruin your mood of getting the loot and also just your experience with the game in general. But that's why I'm worried that the only way to get a tier 5 weapon is always to do the really frustrating content. Listen, I am okay with a challenge, you know, doing master raids and all that stuff. But if the only way to get tier 5 loot is to always do the most, just, again, frustrating, boring, because there's one thing about difficulty, that's one thing, but when you make it so frustrating to do, it's just a pain to do and play. Was it really worth it? And that's the other big problem, is like Bungie is already dealing with a huge issue where they just don't know how to scale loot and difficulty the right way. You know, the more you know, frustrating activity is, or just, again, where it's just I'm not having a good time, is like trials. Let's, you know, the more the time that you spend in trials, and then does it equal the amount of loot that you get or the value of the loot? And sometimes more than likely, no, it's not worth it. And like, I mean, imagine doing the most difficult thing and then getting one tier 5 weapon and it's just the worst roll. Like, and then you have to do it again and again. And listen, I want there to be a grind and a looter shooter, obviously. But again, if the only way to get, like, I'm not saying they should hand out tier 5 loot, but even just like a percentage of a chance at getting tier 5 loot from like lower difficult, you know, content would be nice. That allows there to be a reason to play those activities, because that's the other thing, is the value of other activities will go down. And when it comes to all this loot, sounds great. I you know, we're getting pretty much loot that makes everything in our vault, even though we're not getting stuff sunsetted, which is amazing. It's just not going to be as valuable as this new stuff. Like, everything is being power crept all the way to the ceiling at this point. We're going to have some really strong weapons and just our armor in general with the sets and all that. Everything getting overhauled. It sounds great, but again, like, it's going to be really rough if the only way to get, you know, the best stuff that we're all going to want is doing those painful activities, and that's it. And there's like really no reason to do anything else, which I'm pretty sure they are looking into that. I don't think that they're going to just be like, oh, the only way to get tier 5 loot is always doing this like ridiculously difficult activity and that's it. But again, we'll have to wait and see how tier loot works. Like, what if you get a tier 3 weapon? Can you upgrade it to tier 5 through like activities? That's the one thing that I'm really like hoping for, is you can get like a tier 3 weapon and you can charge it to a tier 5 by playing the game and doing some like difficult content and getting maybe ascendant shards, you know, like as like, you know, to upgrade. Well, not ascendant shards that we have now, actually. I just completely forgot that. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to mention D1 where they had those things as upgrade stuff. Ascendant shards now are just for like materials of masterwork, you know, masterworking your stuff. But what if they have like a different currency that you get through, you know, doing difficult content, and you can use that to infuse into your weapon to get it another tier up? Pretty much a better way of crafting, because crafting did ruin the grind of Destiny. It just was, you know, you get your red borders, you're done, like, and then you can craft your weapon. Like, it was nice And I'm not saying, oh man, they should have just completely remove a lot of those things with crafting, because it's nice to be able to maybe change the masterwork or something like that. But I feel like what I was expecting crafting to be was more where it's we have a system where we can pretty much perfect our weapon without just changing perks and that's it, and leveling. I thought it was going to be we collect the perks and we find those or something, but there's nothing like that. So maybe the new crafting, quote unquote, will be using materials to infuse our weapons to make them stronger if they're not a tier 5. I don't know. But again, that's my worry, is specifically on loot. So I have hopes about content and just the engagement of content, especially when it comes to events, but I'm worried about loot. Now, with that being said, do I think that this new future of Destiny is going to feel like a Destiny 3? That's what I hope. I really, really do. Because at this point, we all want a Destiny 3. And when we say we want a Destiny 3, we want it to feel like a brand new game. Because going from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 was a very fresh feeling. It wasn't the best once we learned, oh, this is not as good. The double primaries and all that. But it still felt like you were just a brand new car. It's brand new. Sure, it started breaking within a week, but it was nice. It had that new car smell. When it comes to Destiny, we want that feeling again. And with what they shown off with this very first, expansion, and hopefully once we see more about, how they're going to be doing events, how they're going to do these major updates and such, I really do hope that we are hitting a new feeling of Destiny, with maybe hopefully a lot of things getting overhauled. I mean, who knows what they're going to be doing to solve the vault problem, which I didn't even go into fully, but I mean, it pretty much is self-explanatory. We're going to have a ton of loot, we have new armor, and our vaults are already just screaming in pain. Well, mine is. I don't know about all of yours, but yeah, I just can't let things go, which I will be. I'm definitely just gonna have to do it. Gotta make room for all this new stuff, but it just sucks. But yeah, I really do hope that overall Destiny 2 will feel like a Destiny 3. Sometimes whenever we get these huge overhauls to UI and so on, it does feel like that, but it really just depends on all the things that are overhauled, changed gameplay wise, and we get sometimes new supers, new subclasses, which makes it feel like a brand new game, but my assumption is that we're not getting a new subclass, obviously, with Edge of Fate. I mean, who knows? Surprise, you might announce it out of nowhere. But I do believe that maybe I don't know about the next expansion, but maybe the next year, we'll see maybe another subclass. I'm not even asking for a red super or anything. It would be nice for them to start adding supers, different supers, for our current, subclasses. Prismatic, start adding things in there, not just supers, but how about fragments and aspects for all these different, subclasses that we already have. I mean, it's really disappointing that Stasis and especially Strand, it just hasn't really gotten that much love. There's not any big updates anymore for those subclasses. I mean, it's just, I don't know why. It would be nice to see a brand new, Stasis subclass for each class. And same thing with Strand. I mean, just anything to think about. I mean, they could introduce a replacement from the grapple, a new grenade ability where it's a grapple, but it's more like Scorpion, where you can actually grab the enemy and pull them. I mean, that's why I was so shocked to see that in the Destiny Rising trailer, where there was a Titan using Arc and was able to grab an enemy and pull them to them. And I'm like, wow, more things that I wish that Destiny had. Even just like the dual wielding, like that. It's just that is going to be the big struggle. I feel like is Destiny Rising versus Destiny 2's future as well. But yeah, I just want to see Destiny 2 feeling like Destiny 3 at this point, because I think from everything that we've gathered, it doesn't seem like Destiny 3 is going to be a thing. And if it is, maybe not for a very long time, because they pretty much scrapped the whole idea of like thinking about just starting over, which, I mean, again, with what they're doing with the weapons and so on, this is essentially like a very small feeling reset. Like it feels like, okay, this is gonna probably like kind of feel like a Destiny 3, but not fully, because it's not like they're overhauling the engine or anything like that. So who knows? But yeah, I really do hope that Destiny does good. And I hope with everything that gets announced, which I may do a follow-up video, like just talking about the things that, info or things being shown off. Anything that I upload, I won't talk about, spoilers. And if I do, I'll make sure there's like a warning. But yeah, here's the hoping that, again, I'm pretty sure when I upload this is going to be the day of, because I can't remember which day it is that they're going to show off all the gameplay, but pretty sure it's already out there. So I hope that all my worries are out the door. But like I said, we'll wait and see. And then after that, I'll give you all, a pretty good follow-up. But regardless, I hope you have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are. And in the comments, let me know, like, what is your hopes and worries about Destiny 2's future with this, new saga, like this new year for Destiny? Let me know in the comments down below. But regardless, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Chibi out.